This is quite possibly the biggest announcement I have ever made on this channel. Hey guys, what's going on? I hope everybody had a great week, and I hope you guys are having a very relaxing weekend. Alright, let me cut to the chase. I have a huge announcement that I have been holding on to for a while. So the big announcement is, I am a dad. Well, again, if you guys remember from one of my last videos, I had to leave my training early, and that is why. That's right, Officer 401 now has a son. I don't know if this makes him Little Officer 401, Officer 401 and a half, Officer 401.5. I don't know. I know you guys will come up with something creative, so let me know in the comments section below what you think I should refer to him as. And I don't share a lot of details about my personal life because I do like that separation from YouTube, work, and home. And besides, the whole point of the channel was to educate the public about law enforcement and why we make the decisions that we make. But on the other hand, I think getting personal kind of brings a human element to the channel. So today's video is going to be very personal and very different from a lot of the other videos. So if you guys are here to watch cop vlogs, you might want to check out some of my other videos. This one is completely about me and my babies. And there's still going to be certain things that I keep private just because that's the way I am. My ex says I'm secretive. No bitch, I'm private. But I really wasn't going to be able to do today's video without getting personal with you guys, so you're going to learn a lot about me today. And I almost didn't do this video, but it was getting really hard to explain like why it was taking me so long to get videos out and everything else, and a lot of that had to do with work. But the past week and a half has been absolutely nuts. So those of you that have been watching me for a while, you know that I have a daughter, and I made a lot of mistakes with my first child that I do not want to make with my second one. People change a lot in even just a few years. I am a very different person than I was 3, 4, 5 years ago. And not necessarily in a bad way. I had some growing up I had to do. And before I met my ex many moons ago, I was actually dating a probation officer. I was absolutely crazy about this girl, and it took me years to figure out that this girl was crazy. Now, I don't use the term crazy lightly anymore. I think the term is way overused, but now I completely understand what it actually means. To make a long story short, the straw that broke the camel's back, her and I were kind of in a heated argument. And usually whenever I'm fighting with somebody, give me like 20 minutes in a different room and I'm calm. I'm over it. I don't call names. Part of the problem is that she was intoxicated, but that's a whole different story. And after we got into this argument, she decided to close the bedroom door with a butcher knife in her hand. Me not really knowing what the hell she was about to do, I opened the bedroom door and she is laying on the bed and she has this butcher knife to her thigh. But the moment I knew she was crazy was as soon as I opened that door, she was looking straight at me, laying in the bed. She takes this knife and slices her thigh straight open, fillets it open, and does not even show an ounce of emotion whatsoever. She doesn't cringe from the pain, nothing. She just continues staring at me with this like gaping wound in her thigh. And that was the moment I was like, dude, holy shit, I gotta get out of here before this crazy bitch cuts my throat in the middle of the night. I am not trying to end up on the ID channel. No, not this Mexicasian. So, and I know this is dirty, but I didn't have any other choice at the time, but I waited for her to go to work one day, and I got a buddy of mine to come over to the house, and he helped me pack all my shit and get it out in like 3 hours. We were out like a boner in sweatpants. So after I disappeared from that horrible situation, she tried texting, calling, emailing me for months after that. To get to the end of that point, I never responded to any of her messages, and she has not heard from me since. And later on, I heard she ended up getting hooked on a bunch of different drugs. She had both her kids taken from her. She lost her job. Like, it was a really shitty situation for her, but she was already going down that path. Last I heard is that she ended up running from police after cutting her wrist so deep that the skin on her hand was coming off like a glove. I'm sure a few of you just cringed. I'm sorry, but I gotta put it out there. And then she was living in the back of a beat up car and like using the bathroom in the back seat. Like, this girl went completely downhill from where we were at when we started dating. That's why I think it's funny when dudes are like, yeah, my girl's crazy. I'm like, hold on. You don't know crazy. And that was years ago. I don't know what happened to her since then. So fast forward a few months and I ended up getting to know my ex. And we were actually friends before that. And yes, we were just friends before that. She ended up breaking up with her boyfriend. So naturally we started talking. Things happened. You guys know the rest of the story. Things elevated from there, and before I knew it, she was pregnant. And this might be too much information, but Yeah, first time. So because all of this happened in under a month, neither one of us knew each other very well. We had been friends for a while, but you don't really know somebody unless you live with them for a good, like, at least a year or two. And I was excited about my daughter coming, but I was really nervous. And I think that was because I was unsure about the relationship. Like, I didn't know what I wanted at the time. I was immature and I was very selfish. I liked doing my own thing when I wanted to do it. And besides that, I didn't know how to raise a kid. And things were okay. Things were okay for a while, but they went downhill very dramatically when my daughter got here. I was getting frustrated all the time. I didn't want to be around my ex.
Most of us in here got a crazy ass baby mama, and we love telling people how retarded this motherfucker is. This ignorant, stupid bitch.
I was just not happy about the situation. And again, on top of it, having no idea what the hell to do with a baby. So needless to say, I made a lot of mistakes with my daughter. There was a lot of things I missed out on. I was going out to the bar a lot, so I wasn't even home at night most of the time. And I'd get home at like midnight, 1 o'clock in the morning. So I'm sure you can imagine over time, like, that caused problems. I just didn't want to be there. I wasn't happy. And it had nothing to do with my daughter. Of course, I love my daughter. But even with her, I made a lot of mistakes too. I was impatient. I wasn't enjoying life the way I thought I was supposed to. It was almost like I had a midlife crisis, but in my 20s. And it was the little annoyances at home that kept just pushing me further and further away. And like I said, by this time, like, I did not want to be around my ex at all. She was annoying the shit out of me. She would be nagging, my daughter screaming. And of course I'm thinking, like, what the fuck did I do? What am I doing with my life right now? And like right off the bat, it was like going to work was a vacation. And I don't like to throw the towel in on a relationship just because I'm unhappy about something. Because usually things change, things get better, stuff like that. So I tried to make it work for a long time. And I really didn't communicate with my ex the issues that I was having. It was all stuff that I was trying to deal with on my own. So fast forward, I finally threw in the towel. I decided to break up with my ex, and it became one of the worst and most expensive decisions of my life. So of course by this time a whole bunch of spite had built up, and it was like, oh, well, you're gonna leave me? Okay, that's fine. But your child support is gonna be the equivalent of rent. And I'm not talking about apartment rent, I'm talking about house rent. So it was basically like a fuck you, I'm gonna take half of what you make every month. Good luck paying your rent, because, you know, that makes sense. You gotta love that logic though. It's like somebody riding a bike and sticking a broom handle in their own spokes, and when they fall down, they're like, fuck Donald Trump. Bernie Sanders wouldn't have let this happen. But even with all that, let me assure you that the decision I made was by no means a mistake. Had I not made that decision, this channel wouldn't be here, I wouldn't have switched departments, and I would not have the amazing life that I have now. So anyway, I moved out, I moved in somewhere else, and with somebody that was helping me very much in these very dark times when I was broke. You want to know what broke is? Broke is having to count change to go get ramen noodles from the corner store and not having enough. That is broke. I felt like a college kid, except without the strippers and keg stands. Totally different relationship though. Completely different. Thank God. So fast forward a little bit more, and yep, she's pregnant. So fast forward to present time. Little man made his appearance to the world, and let me tell you guys, this has been a totally different experience than the first time. Part of it is maturity, I'm sure. Part of it is loving the life that I have now. And part of it is realizing how much I missed out on with my daughter. And thank God, man, she's still little enough to where she won't remember any of that. But I don't want a single second to go by where I pass up an opportunity to hold my little man because I'm preoccupied doing something. I guess it took me this long to realize like how precious life is and how fast that shit goes by. I was looking at my daughter's baby pictures the other day and I'm like, holy shit, like she has grown up so much. And you don't realize it because, you know, when they're small and they're crying and stuff, like the days are so long, but the years are so short. And now here she is sitting in the back seat in her little car seat and she's like, Dad, do you even realize that the sky is blue? I'm like, how do you know what realize means, you little shit? And I never thought I would say this at the time. I really miss my daughter being a baby. I miss her being so dependent. I miss holding her. I miss feeding her. Of course, now she's at the age where she's independent. She doesn't want anybody helping her with anything. And even since she was little, she has never been a cuddle bug at all. This girl does not like to sit still. She doesn't like to cuddle. She's always on a mission and she has things to do. And now I can't help but look at my little guy and I realize how small, how helpless he is. And I get a little choked up, man, because I know that this time is gonna pass. Everything in life is temporary, and it's depressing and beautiful at the same time. I look down at him and he's so small, his little eyes can't even focus yet. And I can't help but think, like, this little guy is gonna learn like how ugly people are in the world. Like, he's gonna see so much hate and racism and everything else. I want him to treat everybody with respect. I want him to love everybody, but trust very few. And I'm sure there's gonna be a few of you that ask me the question, has your daughter held your son? And the answer is yes, and that shit was adorable. And let me tell you, it's a little bit of a butterfly effect too, when something you helped create is holding something you helped create. It's only something parents with 2 kids or more will understand. But she was so good with him, and all she wanted to do, all she talked about before he was born, is the fact she wanted to pet him. For whatever reason, she wanted to pet him on the head. So finally, I brought her over the other day to my house, and I put a little like round pillow in her lap, and I put the baby there. And I told her, I was like, be really gentle with him. This was the first time this kid has sat down for more than like 30 minutes. And she just held him and watched TV and was like stroking his head. It was the cutest thing I've ever seen. And I was really, for the first time in my life, I was perfectly content. I had both my kiddos with me. I was so excited. Happy kids, happy home life. Everything is perfect. So yeah, that's it. That's the big announcement. I am a dad again, and I kind of feel like I have a second chance, and I don't want to waste that. I get this overwhelming rush every time I see him. And like I said, it's nothing that anybody can understand unless they have a child of their own. The downside, well, I wouldn't necessarily call it a downside, but the problem of all these like new feelings that I've had, right, is paranoia. Like, I'm already planning on ordering motion lights. I've got cameras up already, and I've been sleeping with one eye open and 2 guns next to me every single night. I am waiting for somebody to come through that front door.
I wish a motherfucker would. Sit your ass down. See how that works? Sit down. Don't you dare, motherfucker. Sit your ass down. Bitch.
My house is like Fort Knox right now. But anyway, getting to the point, guys, family is the most important thing that we have. Don't waste a moment that you are afforded with them. That being said, guys, that is the big announcement. I am going to go home and edit and try to get this video up as soon as possible, so I can spend time with my little man. And guys, I appreciate the support. Thank you so much for watching. Now you understand why things have been so hectic on my end. I'm going to continue trying to get videos out as much as possible every 3rd or 4th day. If you have any ideas for video topics, leave them in the comment section below. We are going back to cop vlogs after this. I hope everybody continues to have a safe and fun weekend, and I will see you guys very, very soon.
Lonely soul, you could be saving. Where it's hot.